Give it a second. I hope everyone's doing well. Hey Jazz, hey Jazz. Thank you for watching. I hope everyone's doing well on this beautiful Wednesday. I know what today is. Wednesday afternoon, morning, whatever. I appreciate everyone taking their time to watch this. Of course, this is daily motivation, 365 days of consistency, doing the same things over and over again until they become habits. And it's funny when you get inspired. I had a talk already in my head, but as soon as I was about to turn on the computer, something else or a phone, something else hit me. So, inspiration happens in mysterious ways. So if you ever have read, I hope you've read the book Mastery from Robert Greene. If you've never read it, I believe Robert Greene is one of the greatest psychologists of our generation. He really understands people. He even has a book called Humans, I think, and understanding personality traits, understanding why people do what they do. And so I love reading Robert Greene's work because he's just so profound at all the things that he understands about human nature. Human Nature, that's the name of the book. But I take it from one of his older books called Mastery, where he talks about everyone wears a mask. And through my own journey, I realized that's true. Everyone has a certain facade, persona, which the word persona came from the Greek word, or personality came from the Greek word persona, which persona was a mask that people would wear in the theater. So in the theater back in the day when they were doing shows, they would wear masks, and that would be the persona, their character. And they would speak through this mask so it could go out before microphones and things like that. So this mask would send out high vibrations out into the crowd so they can hear them. So the word persona already means mask, right? So everyone approaches every new thing with a persona, which is a mask that they wear. To when you first get an interview, that's not you. Let's be honest, that's not really you. When you first see someone, hey, how you doing, sir? Yeah, nice to meet you. That's not really you. The real you, like, hey, what up, man? What's going on, bro? What's going on? That's the real you, the real persona. But many times when we approach new people, what we do is we put on a facade, a persona, a mask. And there's five ways I've shown in my own life that how you can tell the real personality underneath the mask. Why? How can you do that, Rich? Because people will always expose themselves. People will always let you know who they really are. Always. They can't help it. It's in them. Whatever's inside of you will come out of you. It's like what Rain Dyer talked about, the orange. Like when you squeeze an orange, only orange juice comes out. Because whatever's inside of you, if somebody squeezes you, will come out of you. So what are the 5 ways, Rich? What are 5 ways that you can tell the persona, how people really are in real life than the mask they wear? Hey, Jess. That's my old town friend from Connecticut. Long time. How you been? Hope everything's well with you and your fam. So the 5 ways is, number 1 is watch people that constantly talk about their accolades. So you ever meet somebody and the very first thing they want to tell you is all the things they've done. Oh yeah, man, I worked with these people and I had with this company and I made money with these people and yeah, I'm friends with this guy, da da da. Watch those people. Because if somebody has to, hey homie, yes, if someone has to tell you their accolades, most likely because they're in a sense of insecurity. They're not really doing anything. But if they tell you all these things you're doing, it's because they want to impress you. But if you're really doing it, you don't have to impress anyone. Warren Buffett is not going around telling people, hey, I'm a billionaire, right? Hey, I'm a billionaire, right? Hey, guys, hey, I'm a billionaire, right? I'm in stock investments. I'm really good at it. I'm doing. Everyone knows it. Because when you do what you do, people will find out. People will know what you do. You can't hide who you really are. So if you're a master at investing, trust me, people will know you're a master at investing. So you don't have to tell anyone your accolades. Now, if they ask specific questions, hey, what do? You can tell them. But if people are, as soon as they approach you, they want to say, hey man, I'm cool with this person, I hang out over here, oh I got this type of money, I drive this type of car, most likely it's what we call BS. It's BS, because anything that's in you will come out. So if you're in a sense of insecurity, you're going to have to try to hide that with a persona. Hey, I'm this guy, I'm this person, I wear this type of clothes, and I do this type of things. But if you're really that person, they feel it from you. You don't have to say it. So that's number one. And when people talk massively about their accolades, most likely they ain't doing none of it. It comes from insecurity. They know they're not doing much, and so they want to prove to you that they're doing a bunch of things. Hey Dennis, how's it going, brother? Thank you for watching. That's number one. Number two, the number two way is how you see through the mask, through the persona of people, is watch the person that wants to jump on every good cause, the good Samaritan. They're dangerous. They're dangerous. Because again, that stems from a sense of insecurity. When you're an ethical person, like I was talking to a person the other day, he's like, yeah man, I'm a good ethical person. I speak at the church, I donate at the church. Why do you have to tell me that? If you are a person, you do it from the kindness of your heart, you want to give, you don't have to tell people that. You don't have to tell people that. So if you're going around saying, hey, yeah, I'm cool with this cause, and yes, I have friends with minority friends, and yes, I do these things, watch those people. Because they're stemming from a place of insecurity as well. That they're not truly that ethical. They're not truly that good of a person that you're talking, because that takes inner work. That's the hard part. See, people want the easy. They want to elevate their lives easily without putting in the work. And so they want to tell you all the ethical things that they're doing. So it's just a facade. It's not really them. Trust me, when stuff really hits the fan, they're going to be thinking about themselves. They're not going to be thinking about the world. They're going to be thinking about themselves. But they want to show you a facade, so they're going to constantly say, oh yeah, I like to donate, and I do all these things. I don't have to. People know it. People say, hey Rich, I heard you do things with kids. Why? Because I do it from the kindness of my heart. I don't go out and tell the world those things. Like, I got my GC license, and my mom was like, you didn't even go tell nobody. I was like, oh yeah, I was going to tell you. I'm not that person. I do it for me, for my own mission, my own goals. I don't do it for no accolades. I don't do it for applause. I don't do it for anyone's validation. I do it because I do it. So that you know something comes from an inner place and what's coming from an outer place. So that's number two. Number three, and this one is actually, number three is probably the easiest way to figure people out and who they truly are. It's through social media. Through social media. Read media posts. And read them consistently. Why? Because you'll find contradictions in many of them. You'll have somebody say, I'm a boss. Oh yeah, I'm a boss, baby, I'm a boss. And then the next post is, man, they ain't paying me no money. Well, why they gotta pay you money if you're a boss? Yeah, I do all these things, da da da. But then you really see, if you listen consistently to their social media posts, they'll expose themselves. They'll expose who they really are. They'll expose their bad habits. And yes, no, it's not a problem being vulnerable. If you're being real, be real. But don't have one thing showing one thing, but then the next week you're showing another. That is an exposure. That's exposing you that you are not really that person. You're laughing. Thanks, Jess. But you're not really that person. You're not. And that's not, I'm not saying that's in a negative way. It's just be real. I tell my wife this, just tell the people the truth. Just tell the people the truth, who you really are. So when people in their social media posts show one thing one day, and then if you read it constantly, like, I love the Lord. I love the Lord. And the next thing, if this mother effer says something to me again, you see there's a contradiction there. So that is, show them who they really are, which leads me to number 4. And I talked about this in the last video. You stress test people. People will show their reaction, or people will show who they really are through stressful situations. If you can add some stress onto anyone, they'll show you who they really are. No, I'm a nice person. I'm very calm and chill. Yeah, I'm docile until stress comes out and they're the first one taking their shirt off, ready to pop off, right? Ready to get into a fight, or ready to demean somebody else, or quick to say, those people are doing that. You're not that docile person you've been saying you are. So when you could put some pressure on somebody, they'll show who they really are. You know, Miles Monroe said, you want to know who somebody really is? Give them access to power, money, and sex. Those three things. You give them access to those things, they'll show who they really are. They'll show who they really are. So when you put stress tests, emotions, and hardship on people, they'll show who they really are. See, I like the story of Jesus on the boat. When the whole storm was coming in, the boat was rocking, and everyone came to Jesus like, oh my God, we're going to die. And Jesus is chill, cool as a fan. He doesn't shift. I'm cool as a fan before the storm, and I'm cool as a fan during the storm. I'm just cool as a fan. Why? Because I'm centered in myself. So when you are centered in yourself, if someone adds stress and pressure onto you, you don't lose yourself. Now, of course, we're humans. We have our own emotions. Things happen. But we could be the same person that will go back and say, you know what, I apologize. I should never reacted that way. I should never reacted that way to you. And so when you add pressure to people, they'll always show who they really are. Which leads me to number 5. Number 5 is, once you get really good at vibration, you'll feel their vibes. Again, Warren Buffett doesn't have to say anything. Warren Buffett walks into a room, you feel it. Eric Thomas walks into a room, you feel the energy from him, that dude's a real dude. You could feel it from the person. They don't have to say anything. You just want to go up to people like this. I've done that before. I was like, hey man, I don't know why, but I just want to come up to you and talk to you. Like, what do you do? Oh, well, I do this, that, and third. Oh, wow, I've been looking for somebody just like that. I'll tell you a story. I was working at a watch store, Movado at the time. And this guy came in, he had flip-flops, kind of a grungy shirt and some shorts on, bald guy. And all the other people in the store, the salespeople, didn't want to come up to him. They kind of figured the way he looked that he wasn't a baller. But there's something about him that made me want to go right up to him and say, hey, how you doing, sir? Hey, how you going, man? Like, hey, you're the guy I need to talk to. Yeah, sure. He bought 5 watches for me. He was a CEO of McDonald's. He was a CEO of McDonald's. But, of course, when you're rich and you're wealthy, you don't have to wear the suit. And all the guys in the nice suit and tie, people are going up to him and say, hey, man, yeah, can let me sell it? Because he didn't feel vibes yet. When you're good at vibes, you understand that people who really have don't ever have to show what they have. They emit that energy out. So if somebody says, hey man, I'm balling, I'm making tons of money, watch that person. Watch that person. Because I promise you, again, Bill Gates is not going around talking about balling. You know he's balling. So watch people's real persona for those 5 ways. 1, what do we say? Ones that constantly talk about their accolades. 2, ones that are always jumping into the next good cause. Those people are dangerous. I promise you. They're stemming from an insecurity. If you have to show you're ethical, you're probably not ethical. 3, check their social media. Check the contradictions. Say one thing one day, do another thing another. Check the contradictions. They'll expose themselves. 4, the vibes. We just said the vibes. And what was 5? 5, put stress test on them. And then you can see how they really are. This is what I do constantly. People want to work with me. People reach out to me. Hey, Rich, I want to do this with you. I want to do that with you. And lots of the times the answer is no, because I can tell who you really are. And that's not a diss. Again, I just know who I want to be around. And if you don't hit that same flow, we just can't chill. We can't be connected on that way. We could be cool, but we cannot. I can't let you in my circle, because I let in my circle a certain type of vibration. A type of people that are really doing things, that are really, and don't contradict themselves. They know who they are, that are really ethical and good, that can handle stress and pressure, that they don't fold at the smallest issue. And 5, I can feel the vibes, man. I've been working on vibrations for a very long time, and I sit in myself. You're so wise. I'm so happy for you. You look so happy in life. Thank you, Jesse. I appreciate it. And that's just inner work. That's just working on my inner self, man, for a long time. It took years to get to this place, but I kept working on myself. Not for anyone else, but just for me. I want to be a better person. So I said, listen, Rich, how do I work on me? And when you can work on you, people will feel it from you. You don't have to say anything. They'll know it. from you walking in the room. Those that can tell the vibe. Some people can't. Some people will diss you just because, you know, they're looking for, because they're leeching. I'm trying to let me find the person I can leech onto so I can get up. But when you're in yourself, you know you're going to bring your own self up. And you're going to bring people with you that do. So again, don't be fooled. Don't get caught in facades. Don't get caught in the masks. Don't get caught in the personas. Find the real people, because they always will show themselves. Take time to decide who they are. It said in the book, Robert Greene said, take some time. Hang with people few more times before you decide who they really are. Because the first person you meet, I promise you, is not the person that you'll find years later. That's why people get married and say, I woke up, I don't even know who I married. Because you didn't. You have no idea who you married. Jazz knows. I stress test her. She's probably so upset. She still talks about it like, you know, you tighten me up. But I tell her, listen, I had to know you were legit. I had to know that you were really my wife. I had to know that you would be the mother of my children. I had to know this. So for me, I had to stress test you first. And she passed with flying colors. So I appreciate all of you. Thank you for taking your time to watch this. I hope this served you well. And I promise you, there's a lot of BS people out there, and they'll try to BS you. So these are 5 ways that you know that you're not being BS'd. Love is love. I appreciate all of you. Oh yeah, either you could agree with me or not agree with me, but either way, I feel this was a successful conversation. Thank you, Jess. Thank you, Jazz. Thank you, Dennis. Thank you, everyone else. Maybe I didn't see you, but you were watching. I appreciate all of you. Love is love. Namaste.